What is up, A3 fam? Welcome into Attacking Third. It's your girl, Darian. I'm in the host seat once again, joined by Lori, Lindsey, and our girl, Allie Riley joins us on A3 After Dark. Allie.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good evening. It's tomorrow for me and Lori. But how are you feeling? You've got a little more energy than us tonight.
I probably have a little pep in my step, but I have to admit, I do have my pajamas on the bottom. So I'm also ready for bed, guys, even on the West Coast.
Lori, how are you doing? You're like still bundled up. We even moved to a beanie this time.
Oh, still Philly. So we've had, how many inches of snow did you all get in New York? We had 9+ here.
Oh, I don't even know. I just know my car is buried. Oh, shout out to Audrey, our producer. We got 12
Oh,
inches.
wow. Yeah, my car's buried too. I do have heaters, but honestly, it's like, LOL, it's 10 degrees. Like nothing's working. On Saturday, Al, I had like 3 layers on inside my house that I've just literally just keep like rotating it out. And then as soon as I get out of the shower, like sprint, put all the clothes on. It's like just hilarious.
Come to California.
Listen,
I saw dolphins in the ocean today. Oh. It's supposed to be 80 this weekend. Come on over. We got room for you. We should have done this from my house.
We should have done an A3 from Allie Riley's spot.
Next time. I'm thinking of you.
We're trying to heat up. But the U.S. Women's National Team did, and of course we are going to give you all of our thoughts. And whether you're listening as a pod here with us on YouTube or watching us on Golazo Network, we appreciate it so much. All right, ladies, let's jump into it. The U.S. Women's National Team played Chile tonight after coming off of a dominating win against Paraguay 6-0. And of course, Emma Hayes changes the lineup once again. Average cap for this lineup is 5 across the board. She gives 2 players their debuts. Of course, 2 more caps. She has 32 caps in 32 matches with our dear Emma Hayes. Let's take a look at the lineup. First, in the back, Claudia Dickey getting the nod left to right. Kate Wiesner, Hal Hirschfeld, Emily Sams with the captain's armband at center back. Ayo Oke at that right back position. In the midfield, we have Riley Jackson, Sam Meza, Corey Bethune, and up top, we have Emma Sears, Jamise Joseph, and Yasmin Ryan. Now, Lori, because you were on the show last time when we looked at the lineup from Paraguay, was this kind of what you expected, the unexpected from Emma Hayes with her lineup?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it, the unexpected, because I never know what to expect, especially when she's rotated quite a bit, but also has had young players in. But yeah, I was excited to see heavily rotated squad. I mean, obviously, these are what these January camps are for, is to see as many players. And we heard them say it a number of times on the broadcast that it's going to look very different. You're going to get the European players back. You're going to get some of the Gotham players that will be called in for the She Believes Cup. So now is the time for them to be able to be rotated and give these players opportunity. And another great game. I felt like a lot of these players showed really well. And early goals, I think, helped them calm their nerves, settle into this game, and start to find their groove.
I love that we got early goals this game. Yeah. I won't lie. It kept me in tune at this A3 After Dark show. It was exciting. There was a lot of firsts.
Are you saying it would have just been Allie and I on this? Because we were like, where's Darian?
Yeah. And my bed's right there. Just No, they kept me hyped. I was very entertained, and I think we saw a lot of growth from last game. But Al, I wanted to ask you, because it seemed like the U.S. didn't click against Paraguay until we got the goal initially. Go Bruins! But what do you think Emma Hayes was telling her team going into this match that maybe she wanted to build off of last week? Like, what was this is what we need to do from minute 1? Because it just seemed like they had so much more energy at the start of this game.
I'm sure energy was an emphasis, but I think her messaging the whole time has been so consistent. We're focusing on us. We have our tactics, our game plan, the style of play. This is what we want to implement. And so the players who got the chance to start this game, I feel like there's really good pressure on individuals. What can you show when you get your opportunity? And it's not the type of pressure like, if you don't perform well in this camp, you won't make the World Cup roster. Like, we're not in do or die here. These are players who, if they don't make the World Cup, they will get chances, and they're so young and they have such bright futures. But it is like, what can you do with this opportunity? Can you show me? And I think we saw a couple players really thrive under this type of opportunistic pressure, and they were able to really take it in stride. I won't ruin the surprise. I know who you want to talk about, Darian, but I think this has been like, enjoy it. And to have, 14,000+ in Santa Barbara,
Sold out, baby.
Sold out, a venue that they talked about so much. Julie Foudy was there in 91 and just the energy was electric. And getting an early goal, I think, to see Croy use her body, stay on her feet, it just that sets the tone. And they looked like they were having a lot of fun. And the players who came on, they also looked like they were having fun. I'm still chuckling about Emma dancing. So I think this felt like this good occasion. It's the end of the camp, and it's like, go out and show me your strengths, have confidence. And I feel like they did that.
Yeah, we have to give so many flowers to Emma Hayes, because there are so few. We all played professionally. You both played at a full national team level, but there are so few and far in between coaches that allow you to have fun, that make it so it's structured, but they want to see you be your best self on the pitch. And that happens when you're enjoying it, when you let go of that pressure, you roll off of mistakes. And I think we got to see that from the jump from this lineup tonight. It didn't feel as tight as it did in the first game. And of course, we got a lot of firsts. The first three goals, Corey Bethune, Jamise Joseph, Emily Sams, all got their first goals with the U.S. Women's National Team. So incredible. Emily Sams captaining the team as well after a big move to Angel City, coming off winning a
things
championship
we
with
love
Orlando.
to see.
I mean, you guys got a gem over there in Angel City.
Oh, yeah.
But looking at this, I mean, I feel this is such a credit to how Emma Hayes has made these players feel so confident to be able to come in. And to me, Corey Bethune was one of those players that from the jump, I was like, oh, she's making things happen. And Laura, I know you love her as well and love watching her, but how deep is this player pool now that Emma Hayes has created? I mean, the next camp is more pressure. You're playing bigger, more competitive competition. But you look at this and I'm like, oh, damn, the kids are all right.
Oh my God. I was thinking that same thing. I was like, first of all, we were talking about Raylan Turner the other night and the combination between her and Sitnor, and then when Croy came in, and just the combination between the center forward and the attacking midfielder, and then Jamise Joseph comes in and plays like that. So I'm like,
I thought she was so good.
She was fantastic.
Electric.
And I've seen her since she was at NC State, and I loved her at NC State. I mean, she just blew people out of the water, and she has so many skills that we're not even seeing, like her ability to go 1v1. Like if she gets faced up and takes players on, lights out. Tonight was more obviously not a ton of room, but I felt like, well, backing up, one of the things I thought was going to be interesting tonight, and I'm glad the goals came early, because Chile did seem to sit back. They were much more compact. There wasn't a ton of room early on, especially in the 18-yard box. So I felt like it was going to limit space for Croy, for Jamise Joseph, but credit to them. I thought those two in particular, the movement was fantastic.
Yeah.
And also Jackson and Meza behind them kept the ball moving. And so it did alleviate some of the pressure that typically would clog up if you hang on to the ball too long. So, but I felt like Croy and Jamise Joseph played off one another incredibly well, opened up space. And, but yeah, Croy continues to impress. I think even in the Jamise goal, she's pointing, right? She's pointing, she's making the run, and she's like, I'm just a decoy, play Jamise. And it was a fantastic turn. So, yeah, it's so deep. I'm concerned for Emma, because I don't know how you make these. And I think things will start to iron out, right? We'll start to see as time comes and you have to make those important decisions. But right now, given the environment, to both of you, your point, seems like everybody's having a great time. And that's just making the decision, and it's making the decision harder and elevating everybody's play, which is 100% what you want at the national team level.
I think
Champagne problems.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And you look at, there are players, I think of someone like Riley Tiernan. There are other players in the league who had great seasons who I could also picture out there scoring goals. Like, this shows the depth of the national team. It also should be very motivating and inspirational, and kind of, give you a bit of excitement if you are a young talent in this league, because Emma is showing that if you do well, I will call you in. And we go back to what you were saying, Darian, about how Emma is instilling these feelings in these players, but the US has created an opportunity, which is a privilege to be able to do it. And it is because of the structure of the season and the timing, in the calendar year. Not everyone can play in this window. That is why the roster looked the way it did. But to use the opportunity when you have domestic players, when you have this depth, to have a camp in this window, I just think too, it is a creative way. Of course, they could have a camp and not play a game, and they could do an inner squad, or they could, get more players in and not find an opposition. But I do think it's so valuable to actually have a game. It's great for the fans. And again, the players should be chomping at the bit who had good seasons and didn't get called into this camp.
Right.
But Emma's showing she is always watching.
Agree with that.
Yeah. Homegirl's got eyes everywhere. But I love that the US wasn't for so long. I think, Laura, you were in an era too where it was so difficult to break into that nebula of what the US women's national
buy a
team
cap
was.
before.
It's
totally different.
And also it was the contracts, how that was set up is because it really limited the amount of people as well. So that in turn just made it really challenging for people to
literally
get
couldn't
in.
buy a contract.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And then once you were in, it was hard to be taken away. So it was like you were demanded to play at that level, but it limited the one, just the exposure, right? But also just the eyes that were in the ability to bring players in, which was just unfortunate because we've obviously always had a ton of depth. And I was thinking about that tonight, just watching. I'm just like looking at, and we spoke about Kate Wiesner for Washington. And when Gabby Carl went down, I think it was a quarterfinal game this year in the playoffs, Kate Wiesner had to step in immediately and then played the next two games. Now, she had played a number of minutes, so it wasn't like, okay, this is out of the ordinary or anything. But I'm just looking at this player that initially in a quarterfinal game wasn't starting for her club team. Yeah. And then gets to start in this January camp. And it just shows, one, how important the league is, because it's exposing these players to the ability to be able to play week in and week out at the highest level that we obviously, the three of us know. But then also it's giving them a chance for Emma Hayes to be able to call them in, and they're ready. They feel confident. And I was just thinking, and her in particular, Kate Wiesner, just like, this is amazing. This is what is what the national team is about, right? It's about you're performing well with your club team and you get rewarded. And how deep this player pool is, that might look different going forward, but still they're getting rewarded. And that's what the national team is all about.
You also mentioned Meza and Riley Jackson. That it's hard to get noticed when your team is not having to defend. Like when you're in a midfield role, Croy obviously is higher up the pitch. And that's how well they played, I think, that we're able to notice the consistency, finding passes, finding pockets. And then you even have, obviously, we have to give a shout out to Hal stepping in at center back and doing a great job breaking up the few passes Chile did have in their attacking half. And then Emily Sam's like, oh, how are you really going to make a huge impact as a center back in a game like this? Oh, well, you score a goal and have an assist, So I feel like
great ball for that assist.
Yeah. Chances. Again, great news for Angel City fans.
It's massive. But talking about Emily Sams, actually, like from a grand scheme, I love what you're both saying, because it is so hard to get chemistry with people in a pressure cooker of an environment that you're not training with their long periods of time. It takes, in a season, it takes a couple months to get that. You get a preseason. A lot of these players have just played against each other in the league, but today it was so fun, like you said, between Hal and Emily and Meza and Jackson and these little connections, and Croy just finding chemistry with everybody on the pitch. Like, this is Emma Hayes in action, and I absolutely love it. But I want to give some flowers to your Angel City girl, because Allie, what a big deal it is to not only wear the captain's armband, get a start at a center back position with the U.S. women's national team, but then come in, score a goal, and get an assist. How big of a deal is that for Emily Sams?
it's a testament to who she is as a player and as a person, obviously. And I loved how in her interview with Julie Foudy before the game, you know, they're talking about, oh, like what advice did Trinity give you? Like Trinity, who also just got to captain the team. And these players are so humble, and she has had an incredible couple of seasons. She is so deserving of this attention and this role, but it's always about the team. It's always wanting to hold the standard. And even hearing Riley Jackson speak about just the legacy that the players who came before have left, and wanting to represent that and represent the future. And everyone just is so well-spoken. And Emily, she clearly has Emma Hayes's trust, and you could just see she has so many skills. She can contribute in so many ways. And I mean, at some point the US was playing like a 2-5-3, and you had you had both fullbacks high, you had Emily Sams high. But I think that should give her a lot of confidence going into the season, going into a new team, missing the beginning of preseason. That is one thing about this camp. I know Angel City, they're bummed that their players are missing this first 10 days or so, for good reason, of course. But it is kind of like, okay, you want to get something extra good out of this opportunity, because you're missing your chance to make that first impression and be there and be a leader with your new team. And she did that tonight, and that should make her feel so good and so proud. And I just think everyone will be so excited to welcome her with open arms, and she's going to play a huge role this season for Angel City. So hopefully this just makes her feel really, really good and excited. And now, you know, just being a couple hours up the road from her new home.
Whew. Angel City, get ready, because Emily Sams rocking the captain's armband tonight, getting a goal and an assist, and she's going to be playing in your backyard soon. We can't wait to see it.
Gosh.
And we also got goals not only from Bethune, from Jamise Joseph, Emily Sams. We also got goals from Emma Sears and Trinity Rodman. And we are going to talk about those next, and some other players that stood out to us. So stick with us after this quick break. Hey friends, welcome back to Attacking Third. Allie Riley, what's going on over there?
We're boring my mom. She's asleep over there.
It's also 12:25 a.m. for your mom.
No, it's only 9:25.
He doesn't know the difference, though. It's
That
12:25.
scoreline wasn't enough to keep Bevlo entertained, so
We'll tell
you need
Emma.
to just step it up. Yeah, Emma.
I love it.
Can we talk about Emma Hayes doing the sexy Dexy?
Oh
Hold on.
my gosh.
Cackled. It was so funny.
It was so funny.
Julie was talking about it right before Trinity came in, had to score, and Emma said she regretted a little bit not doing it. And then as soon as you saw Trinity score, she bypassed. She made a new PR for speed.
Yes.
Running over to Emma Hayes, counted her down, and then
it was so good. And then for the next 5 minutes, while the game is like getting set up again, Emma's just like turned away from the field, talking to the staff, being like, "What have I done? Was it bad? It was bad."
I want it to be like a meme where they put different music to it, and they just have Emma. It is so good.
No, I was cackling.
The run though from Trin, you both are right. It's like she didn't even like really celebrate. Just beelined it over to Emma. Like, here we go.
New max speed.
And the bench was all lined up along the boards watching. So many good angles, multiple angles.
It's such a highlight. I love it. We're gonna
really
see
was
all over the internet.
Goals, but
I hope for the pod. I hope that's like the title cover for this episode is Emma Hayes doing the sexy Dexy.
Let's make that happen.
Let's make it happen. Let's also talk about some other players that stood out to us, actually on the pitch, not just Emma Hayes. One to me that I was just fawning over. She only played 45 minutes. Ayo Oke, you guys.
Yeah.
What? This is your first camp. She was playing at UCLA, went and played in Pachuca for a season. Now is with Denver Summit, gets called in as soon as she moves into Denver, gets brought into camp, plays an electric 45 minutes.
I have goosebumps.
And what's also wild is she actually wasn't even invited into this camp originally. Yeah. Avery Patterson was called in and then is sick, I guess. And then gets called in. I'm like, what? That was amazing.
Yeah.
First of all, her assist was awesome.
Opportunity.
Exactly. I'm excited for Denver Summit now.
Ooh. They are thrilled.
This is what you're building?
Yeah, exactly. Especially with unknowns, right? When you have expansion teams come in, you never know. And now I'm like, get me there.
Oh, we know.
Okay.
Yeah, now we
know now.
Yes.
No, I thought she was so good. And off camera before we started the show, I said it almost felt like Crystal Dunn. I saw moments of Dunny in Ayo's.
What a compliment.
She was so good defensively.
Yeah, so dynamic.
I was confused. Was she playing wingback? Was she a winger at certain points? Doesn't matter. She was up high. Her ability to whip crosses in, pick players out on a dime with texture. Her assist to Croy through traffic against the grain. Her vision to even see that run. I mean, to me, she was electric the first half. Anytime the ball went to her, I was waiting to see what decision she was going to make because hardly any were ever wrong. And she just is one of those players that you can see is 2 steps ahead of the game. And I think that's why that connection with Croy was happening so early on, because they have that similar technicality in their brains of how they see the pitch. And I loved it. She's a player I have to give flowers to. Also, go Bruins.
Yeah. No,
I think now. I can't help it.
Also, we talk about how these players haven't had a lot of time to get to know each other, right? Like the cohesion, and we saw it a little in the first game. Like things take time. They should take time. And when you're talking about the relationship, when you have Oke and Bethune, and that shows when you know what you're doing. It shouldn't really matter if you know the game plan, you know your strengths, you know how to play your role, and you're able to make the people around you look good. You're able to connect because you're that good, like you're that girl. And so I think that really showed. It didn't matter that she wasn't called in originally. It didn't matter, if she was only going to get 45. It didn't matter that she hadn't had an opportunity to play with these players before, because she is really, really good. And that just, I'm really, really excited for her that she took this opportunity and showed, because this doesn't necessarily mean anything for, we're looking at She Believes, we're looking at so many players come back. There is competition in those positions, but she answered questions. There's going to be some really good notes next to her name. And I think we will see her again. And I mean, what an opportunity with a new team to really play a huge role.
Yeah. Shout out to Charles Need 9881 in the chat. He said, Ayo fit into play really well. She looked like she had been there before. Mm-hmm. And she really did. This looked like her 5th or 6th camp, not her first, where she's called in the day before camp starts.
Yeah.
And is filling a role. But I love it. Love more competition. Depth with all caps for Emma Hayes. Champagne problems for her. But looking at this roster in the last 2 games, well, let's just focus on tonight. But Lori, who is someone that you want to give flowers to that just impressed you with this really young squad?
Well, I've talked about her. I have 2 players that have, I think, really caught my eye. One, Croy. We've talked about her the last 2 games, last on Saturday and then also tonight. I think every time Croy steps on the field, she's super smooth. She's, much like you were saying with Oke, is reading the play a couple steps before. We mentioned him pointing to Jamise Joseph. That's where she wanted Oke to play the ball. Like, she's making those runs thinking, okay, I'm not just making this run to get the ball myself. I'm opening up space. And I think that's why even in these last 2 games, when there's been limited space for those players. I mean, last game, I know against Paraguay, they're playing a high line. There wasn't a lot of pressure. So in behind, there was a lot of space. Regardless, you still have to be able to play off of who's ever playing in the center forward position. I thought Croy is exceptional in both games. Deserved goal from her tonight. And then Jamise Joseph. I thought Jamise
so good,
was excellent, so tidy. And
her turns.
Yeah, the turns were excellent. I actually was like, was that not a PK in the beginning? She didn't go down, and she just got right back up. And I thought she was going to go back and start arguing. But then I was like, yo, this is like the first 10 seconds of the game. I'm pretty sure that's a penalty kick. Maybe not, but good for you. I would have been face planted into the ground and been like, it's a PK. But I thought Jamise Joseph was great. And I think I was thinking of it as a standpoint of like with the Chicago Stars, with Ludmila going to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, they got a ton of money, so we'll see what happens in terms of if they're going to bring anybody in, but it doesn't sound like they made any sort of announcements or given any sort of indication. But that just gives Jamise Joseph, in my opinion, ability to step up, and she has all the tools to be leading them because she can play out wide, she can play centrally, and she can also play as the 10. So it just depends on where they utilize her, especially when Mal comes back. So yeah, I thought Jamise Joseph was excellent tonight in a game that can be difficult when you really have a ton of the possession and the game doesn't open up a ton, and you have to constantly, as a center forward, be looking to find where the space is. And I thought she was incredibly disciplined with staying out of the play a lot of the time, which is challenging, and then making her movements to be able to either open up space for herself or just be the second option that put her even in a better position. So yeah, huge credit to her.
What about you, Allie? Who's a player you want to give some flowers to, or players?
No, Jamise was the player for me as well. I just thought she really, really stood out. And in the first half, I thought Sears was creating well, hits the near post 2 times. Yeah. You're like, oh my gosh, is she going to score tonight? She looked absolutely devastated the second time. And I thought that just, shows again, it was compact. There were a lot of players in the box. The Chilean players were trying to get bodies in front, trying to shift. And for Jamise to be able to roll players like that in the second half too, it was almost like she was able to just kind of like take a defender and like, you go there and I'm going to keep going. And we know from, obviously Lori was saying it, but we saw during the season when she's facing forward what she can do. Mm-hmm. But I hadn't really seen her roll and have back to goal and what she could do and just the quickness. She's so dynamic. There's so many levels to her game. And so for me, she just kind of jumped up even higher in my book. And I thought she really stood out. She should be super, super proud. And I think she's definitely showing where she could be because of how she was able to be effective like that. maybe she's not a starter for the U.S. women's national team in the near future, but that's someone I think that Emma would feel confident if I put her in, she's going to do business and in different roles, like Lori said, but she's someone who just has a lot to offer. And I love the confidence. I also was like, why did she stay down? But also, again, she pops up, she's looking like, oh, can we still finish this? So it does make me think of Chicago and what they'll be able to put together this season. Because obviously Ludmila and Jamise Joseph had such good seasons, but because Chicago has just not been that team that everyone's talking about, they don't get as much, as much of the attention aren't in the conversation as much. So I'm so glad that she got this opportunity, because I do think hopefully Chicago can have a better start and can be in those conversations. And it will be interesting to see who Chicago signs, and with Mal coming back, what that attack looks like. But I would think she's going to have an even better season. She's really good.
Yeah. Sometimes too, I think when you have a player like Ludmila that departs, then, you can feel that pressure, but in a positive way. And I feel like Jamise has had, the 2 seasons now for the Stars where she's been able to grow and now more confident playing with the national team. So it's kind of one of those things where you're like, okay, maybe she's actually going to be able to step in and have even just take off, because it gives her that ability to be like, okay, the attack is going to go through me, or everybody, they're going to rely on me more. And I think sometimes that can be such a positive thing for a young player. And I feel like it's coming to her at the exact right time for that to happen.
But I'm sure Emma will be interested to see how she reacts.
The only other thing I was going to say too is Emma Sears. I mean, give her a lot of credit, because every time she steps on the field, she's scoring goals or hitting the post, because she hit. I mean, I want to know how many times she's hit the post for the national team. It is
powerhouse.
An insane amount of times, I feel like. But she does look more comfortable, and obviously this is where she plays with Racing Louisville, but on the right side. And I also think that is the interesting aspect that Emma has to play with, because obviously we saw in Saturday's game, the left side was where they created the width. You get higher up the field. And then this time with Oke, it was on the right side, right? So it's going to be difficult to play like an Emma or sometimes like a Trin on that side, because they're not necessarily, you don't want them to necessarily invert. So it'll just be interesting to see. But Emma Sears, to me, did look like she was way more comfortable. Obviously got her goal from the right side. And just see how that plays out going forward, and how that changes lineups going forward.
It's so interesting. Allie, I kind of want to talk to Jamise a little bit too, because I almost think we haven't gotten to see that of Jamise. Let's be real, Chicago's been a mess, not because of the players, but just because of everything else that has made it so unstable to gain any sort of chemistry or gameplay or identity in what Chicago is doing, besides like, we're going to turn and burn you, we're going to transition, someone's going to backflip, we're going to score 4 goals, Alyssa Nair is going to get a goal, like drama galore. Love it. Like the player in green's getting a goal, oh my god, that's Alyssa Nair. What? I feel like Chicago and even a Louisville at times this last year, obviously Bev's done an incredible job of getting the best out of players like an Emma Sears, Jamise Joseph at Chicago. But I hope for both of those players, that both those clubs utilize all of those strengths that we see when they're in camp with the national team, and specifically Jamise Joseph. Like, why aren't they using her as a hold-up 9 more? Like, she can roll anybody. Her physicality is incredible. She's also great 1v1. Like, she's a very dynamic player. But saying all this to say, Emma Hayes has champagne problems, insane amount of depth. But one player, obviously, we need to talk about that came in and showed us a sexy Dexy, not once, but twice, also involving Emma Hayes, Trinity Rodman. I mean, she's back. Trinity is back.
So
can we say that? Yeah.
She looks so happy.
Such good energy. Oh,
I can't. Look at Denise. Look at Denise. He's like, oh my god, it's happening. Oh my god, it's happening.
Yeah, Denise is like, that is a really close friend of mine and my head coach.
It's so good. I mean, guys, she comes in within 5 minutes and scores a goal. And watching the way that the goal happened, a long ball over from Riley Jackson, her first touch going towards the near post makes her defender have to stop, arrange her steps, cuts inside, and then the finesse of the shot where she's not just going for power. To me, this is where I'm like, we're in Trinity Rodman's prime. She has all of the characteristics, all of the talent, the fun, the energy, but it's so much more refined now. And I think that goal was so emblematic of it. But I mean, we can say Trinity Rodman's back, right? Like this looks like the confident, fun, happy player enjoying herself on the pitch that we're so used to seeing.
Yeah. And she seems healthy in the sense that, like, obviously we knew she was battling with the back injury and then also the knee injury. Mm-hmm. So she seems healthy. She seems happy. I think that is a key point. And confident. Got the captain's armband on Saturday, which we talked about. Obviously wants to have fun and engage Emma, and Emma wants to have fun. So, right, these players feel they have the backing to be who they really are, to be themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the biggest key for these players to be able to showcase. And I'm thinking about Sam Ewis and Becky just talking about the game from Saturday too. And they were talking about, like, we even spoke, Darian, about the full volley that Trin attempted on Saturday. God. But they were saying the only other player that would typically do that would be Meg Rapinoe. But it is.
Absolutely.
It's like you're seeing the confidence, you're seeing the swagger, and like Trin has always had that. But now we're feeling like it's back, right? And I just feel like with the captain's armband, even more of like the team behind her in the sense that, like, she is a leader as well. And so, yeah, it's just freaking fun. It's like,
it's not why not energy. Like, I'll do it.
Going. But to your point too, the last thing I'll say is I felt like dating back to 2024, we started seeing her refine, like, her game in general, the types of crosses that she was sending in, much more difficult to defend, using defenders to bend the ball around them. And now we're just seeing that across the board in terms of her finishes. You were mentioning just like the touch and, or Darian, whoever was mentioning it, but regardless, there's an extra layer to the way that she's playing, and she's bringing other players in, but obviously she always has the ability to be lights out and take players on herself too.
Yeah. What a perfect way to end this camp and this period of this unrest and the back and forth and just so much kind of angst about, you know, her name was in the media every single day for so many days. And for all of that to be done, she said it was a relief. She looks happy. She's dancing with the coach, the whole league. I guess not the defenders who have to defend against her, but everyone is so happy that this got resolved. And it just felt like a celebration of all of that being done going into this new season, and a healthy and happy Trinity Rodman is what she deserves and what we all want for her. So it was really great to just cap it all off with a banger.
Cap it all off with a banger, and she almost had another volley.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, she can kick the ball so hard.
Oh my god. You're right though, Lori. There's so few players that even think of doing that, and Megan Rapinoe and Trinity Rodman.
Exactly. Here we go.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, ladies, we still have more to talk about. We're going to be thinking ahead about what this means for the next camp with this U.S. women's national team. So stick with us after this quick break, and we'll break it down. What up, A3 fam? Welcome back. Okay, ladies, incredible camp. 2 matches, 6-0 against Paraguay, 5-0 against Chile.
Sheesh.
Debut. You get a goal, you get a goal, you get a cap, you get a cap. Emma Hayes, champagne problems. Now, the next huge test that the U.S. has is She Believes in March. They'll be taking on Argentina, Canada, and Colombia.
Ooh.
When we look back at these 2 matches that they played, who do you guys think deserves a second chance at maybe playing competition like that in more of a pressurized environment? I asked this to the chat first, and everybody is saying Emily Sams. Your Angel City girl. Everybody is saying Emily
Don't tire
Sams.
her out, though. We need her.
Need some energy.
Tire her out.
I agree. I think she's one of those players where I'm like, she has to be called in.
For sure. For sure. And especially because she got the nod with the captain's armband. And I just think that she would be someone who, because of her leadership skills, she's obviously a great teammate. It's like whatever role she's going to play, I know she's going to bring so much into that environment. And these are 3 games. And again, this is going to be, what will it be with the dates? What is that, right before the NWSL starts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
right the 7th. So that is a Saturday.
1 week before.
Yeah. And the 13th or 14th.
So I'm going to assume that there will be heavy rotation in that tournament as well. So everyone who gets called in will have an opportunity. I think, I really, really think, I think that's what we've seen before. So I really, really hope she does. Who else?
I mean, I'm going to say Croy. I mean, I've been high on Croy for a long time.
She's got to be in, right?
And I want to see her in now again in this mix because we're going to see European players come back, different competition between Argentina, Canada, and Colombia. So, And I think that, again, as you two mentioned, like you're going to have to heavily rotate. European players are going to be played in, yes, but like it's still 3 games in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a mix of NWSL players that are just gearing up. So much like we saw in these 2 games where there's clearly like, hey, can we put time restrictions on some of these players? Granted, this is a January camp, but still, when you're about to start a really important year and a heavy workload on these players, you got to keep players fresh and healthy. So, Croy would be mine.
Love that. I also second Croy. Oh, guys, Ayo Oke. I am such a stan. I'm such a stan. Her whole story getting called into camp basically as a supplemental player because Avery Patterson is dealing with an illness, and she crushed it. Lights out performance.
Okay.
Only 45.
I hope Oke gets a call in as well. No doubt. Especially only getting the 45. So
and then seeing her go against the likes of an Argentina, Canada, Colombia, which to me is, Chile posed a different type of challenge with the low block and trying to find pockets and disorganize. You have to be creative in how you're manipulating them to move to create spaces. These teams, you have to respect what they're going to do in the attack.
Yeah.
So and I think our defensive players, I mean, even Croy from a defensive position, to me, that's where we want to see her grow. I think that's maybe doesn't give her more of those frequent call-ups. But I look at that competition and I'm like, I want to see which players defensively can show up in games where they have to be challenged, where you don't just get to flash and shine what you got.
Yep.
Yeah, that fullback position, I'm really, really interested to see kind of who, not just maybe who the starters are, but who are going to be the defenders who start looking like they're on lock for the roster for the World Cup. Because, you have Giselle, who obviously I'm a huge fan of, and she missed a few camps due to injury. She's back in the mix. She got an assist, her first assist for the national team. You have Avery, you have Emily Fox doing amazing. And now you have another player showing that she might have what it takes. And that is that part. They don't necessarily get too much of a challenge, especially in these 2 games defensively. So those fullbacks are showing, I mean, some of them are they're basically playing as wing backs, midfielders, whatever.
Yeah.
They're showing their offensive prowess, and they all have that. So who are going to be the ones that Emma can count on? You don't rotate that position that often, but if you have to, you need that person to be ready, and they have to be ready to defend 1v1, defend crosses. So the She Believes, again, could be an opportunity to see, like you said, Darian, who can handle the heat from some of these top teams that will be playing at the World Cup in 27.
Whew. Also, shout out to Audrey. She mentioned Lily Reel, Jenna Neiswanger, another 2 players that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah, both rookies of the year in the NWSL with Gotham. I mean, it's crazy. I don't know how you make a roster like with what she has now. Like, she just has diamonds to pick from. And to think of this competition, managing minutes, Argentina, Canada, Colombia, all posing very different challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, guys, I'm going to tell you, a few Januaries ago,
I can't wait.
A few Januaries ago, New Zealand decided to play the US in this January window. We did have most of our players playing in Europe. It was not a similar situation to the US with players playing the NWSL. I was one of them. So we all flew down to New Zealand, and we didn't have center backs. So I played center back for the first and last time.
Sounds like a really fatty story from the broadcast.
Right.
Yeah, I want to say that I think total we lost. It was maybe like 9 on over the 2 games. Not my favorite January I've had, but I do think that these games we were talking about a little bit earlier off the show. How much do they prepare these players? What kind of benefit is it? And again, even if the US is historically winning these January camps by quite a bit, we are having conversations about players. We who know nothing about what's going on in the locker room, unless Laura, you've been sneaking in there to try to get out of the cold. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And we are able to see there are players who deserve to be called into She Believes or be on the roster or get another chance. We had 2 new captains. I mean, 3 if you count when Trinity went out. So I think it is really amazing for these players to get this opportunity. And it makes me even more excited. I'm not like a U.S. national team girly here, and I'm excited because of these games to see She Believes, to cover the tournament and just see what Emma can do with this insanely deep roster. So I do think that it's easy to be like, okay, were they challenged? But we were able to see players show, especially if they're not able to show everything they can do, depending on where they play for their club team or how good their club team is or what their coach, what role they're playing. So I think it has been super valuable. And it's really tough for their opposition. I know from experience. It's tough.
Well, I mean, regardless, it's just about setting up, right? Like, even if these players don't make rosters in the near future, it just creates the competition that is needed to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's going to keep elevating those players that did make the roster. There's so much pressure, and everybody is chomping at your heels to be in your position. I love it. Emma Hayes has done an incredible job. Another camp, the U.S. Women's National Team dominating, and we all cannot wait to see how they do in She Believes. Ladies, chat, that is our show. It was such a good time. Allie, welcome to the pod. We loved having you. Loved seeing your sexy Dexy version. Also, shout out to your mom. Is she still asleep?
Yeah, I was going to say, shout out.
She bailed. But yeah, we talked her to sleep, guys. So there's always that.
I love that she got a little cameo. Everybody, we appreciate it so much. Thank you for jumping in the chat and letting us know your thoughts. Make sure you jump into wherever you listen to your podcast and give us a 5-star rating, like the 5 goals that the U.S. Women's National Team scored tonight. From Allie, Lori, Audrey, and Phil, I'm Darian, and this was Attacking Third.
Good night.